Okay, season 1 patch notes are here, and they're just insane. I mean, there's so many buffs that they didn't say were gonna happen that happened, and I actually can't believe it. So starting with Captain America, he's just getting a reduction on like all of his cooldowns, and he's getting a 25 health upgrade, and his charge on his ult is faster, so he's gonna charge his ult a lot quicker. Doctor Strange, he's getting damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. And then they're going to increase the rate, his recovery rate, or slightly decrease the shield value recovery rate after releasing Shield of Seraphim from 80 to 70 seconds. Not exactly sure what that means, but I believe it means they're increasing his defense a little bit. Thor is getting a 25 health upgrade, so he might not be that bad anymore. And then they're adding immunity to control effects during his ult, which is good. It should have always been a thing. Hulk is getting a health reduction on his shield. Okay, fair. Venom, this is one of the crazy ones. I cannot believe Venom is getting buffed like this. Increased symbiotic resilience bonus ratio gained per lost health point from 1 to 1.2. Basically, they're buffing his shield by quite a bit. They're also increasing the base damage of his ultimate by 10. Black Panther is getting a survivability nerf. Health provided after refreshing marks with Spirit Rend reduced from 40 to 30, and the upper limit of additional health provided is going all the way down from 120 to 75. So he's getting nerfed quite a bit in the survivability, but he is already super hard to hit, so it should be okay. Black Widow is getting a buff, increased the range of the first effective edge dancer from a 3-meter radius to 5-meter radius, which I believe is her kick. Reduce the time Fleetfoot recover from stamina 0 to full from 12 to 4 seconds. So they're basically buffing her sprint. I absolutely butchered that, by the way. Reduce the time for her ultimate to charge to full from 1 second to 0.6, which is whatever. Her ult is still going to suck. Hawkeye is slightly reduce the spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. Don't know what that means. And reduce the triggering distance of passive ability Archer's Focus from 60 meters to 40 meters. Reduce the maximum additional damage from the passive from 80 to 70. So they're nerfing his passive, which I believe is his charge. Hela is getting health reduction from 275 to 250. Not that big of a deal, honestly. I think she's still going to be on probably S tier, high A tier. Queen of Limbo, she is getting her ult buffed a little bit, increased Umbral Incursion damage in Darkchild form from 115 to 135. She's already really good. Buffing her any little bit is going to help her even more. Moon Knight, sadly, I don't like Moon Knight, but he is getting a buff on his ults, which I think is fair. His ult kind of sucks. Increase the number of talents generated by the Hand of Khonshu from 10 to 14, so more damage there, and increase the explosion radius of each talent from 4 meters to 5 meters. I don't know how much this is going to help, but it'll at least be better. Namor is, we are adjusting the throwing feel of, we are optimizing the throwing feel of Namor's eggs, which just sounds really gross. Adjust the throwing feel of Monstro and Frozen Spawn. Now Namor can more accurately throw the desired location, which is good. I mean, they feel really awkward to throw at times, so that is nice. And he's getting a buff in the team-ups as well. We will be providing more options for other heroes to counter the Demon Slayer's ultimate. I honestly, I thought this was already a thing. Now Dance of the Butterfly will check for barriers, including Magneto's Metal Bulwark and Hulk's Indestructible Guard. I didn't know it didn't do that, but it does that now. This is a very questionable buff for me. We are slightly increasing the damage capability of Frank's weapons. So they are just reducing the spread of both of his guns. This is going to help the shotgun a lot, and it's going to be a lot stronger. So I'm not really sure why. I didn't think it needed a buff, but they buffed it, which is getting a buff against duelists and strategists. Increase Chaos Control's fixed damage from 50 damage a second to 60 damage a second. So it's a big buff. Reduce the percentage damage per second by 5 to 3. So that is a nerf. And increase Chitaurian's burst projectile damage from 30 to 35. So that's also a pretty big buff. Storm is getting some big buffs this season. Increased Windblade projectile speed from 100 meters per second to 150 meters per second, which is very fast. And left click damage from 50 to 55. Increased Bolt Rush damage from 70 to 80, which is big. And then a ultimate buff to where she's getting more health in it, and it's not instantly gone after it diminishes. Squirrel Girl is also getting a big buff. I think we're going to see a lot more Squirrel Girl after this. We're increasing the threat of her ult. Addition of new effect to Unbeatable Squirrel Tsunami, which is our ult. And the squirrels will rush towards the nearest enemy after bouncing instead of randomly. So that is massive. But they're also reducing the health by half, so it will be easier to get rid of. But this basically turns our ult from completely random to actually useful. Very, very nice. Winter Soldier, I cannot believe they're buffing him this hard. These are some crazy buffs in my opinion. They basically say they want to decrease his long range combat strength, which he already didn't have good long combat strength. He was more of a mid range character, and increasing his survivability in medium close range combat. So increased bonus health provided by Bionic Hook and Tainted Voltage from 30 to 40, which is crazy. Increase rotor sterns projectile damage from 70 to 75, which is crazy. Reduce the area damage from 70 to 65, and reduce the damage decay from 65 at 40 meters to 60% at 40 meters. So that sounds like a buff at range. They reduce the area damage. I honestly don't exactly know what this means. And they also increase his base health from 250 to 275. So he's just way tankier. And I think he does more damage. Like, he just seems very, very strong. Wolverine is getting a buff for some reason. I don't think he needed it. His health is going up by 50%, and they're reducing the Undying Animal, which is what makes him take less damage, from 50 to 40% damage. But this is still a buff. Like, this basically puts him at 490 health with this on, instead of 450 health this on. So he's getting a huge increase in survivability. Cloak and Dagger also getting a buff for some reason. Reduced Dagger Storm cooldown from 15 to 12 seconds, which I think is either the AoE or the screen. Either way, it's a healing ability. And increase the number of dashes in Eternal Bond. So instead of 3 dashes, you're getting 4 dashes in your ultimate, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why they're buffing that at all. Cloak and Dagger was already very strong. Jeff is getting adjust the It's Jeff ultimate ability, range from a 10 meter sphere to a 10 meter radius, and a 5 meter high cylinder spell field. So you're going to be able to see it, I think, and you're going to know if you're in Jeff's ult or not. Jeff is also getting a buff to his healing, which he needs desperately. Jeff is one of the weaker supports when it comes to healing. Luna Snow, they basically removed the thing where you could swap between DPS and healing really quick on her ult. That is it. I honestly thought the ult was going to see more nerfs, but Mantis reduced her speed from her passive from 2.5 meters to 1.5 meters per second. Fair. She was super fast, super hard to hit. Increased the healing of Rocket's repair mode from 60 heals per second to 70 heals per second. Absolutely huge. I mean, Rocket might actually be a really good support now, especially with the changes to Punisher and Winter Soldier. Now onto the team ups. Hawkeye is losing his seasonal bonus. Well, it's not losing it. He's getting it reduced from 20 to 15. So again, don't think Hawkeye is really going to be that bad. Same thing with Hela. Hela's only getting a 5% damage decrease. Don't think Hela is going to be that bad. I still think she's going to be very, very strong. I think people were worried are thinking that they were going to get nerfed into the ground. I think they're both going to be like A tier, especially Hela. I think Hela's still going to stay A tier. Luna Snow, Namor. This is an insane one to me. Increase frozen spawn damage by 2. Increase frozen spawn slowing effect applied on hit to enemies from 25 to 30, which is crazy. Increase Berserk State frozen spawn damage from 16 to 18. So in Berserk State, it's doing 4 more damage a hit, which is just crazy. Rocket Raccoon, Punisher, and Winter Soldier. This is also pretty good. Rocket's ammo thing that gives Bucky and Punisher infinite ammo will be reduced by 5-second cooldown, which is very good. Scarlet Witch, Magneto, increase metallic fusion projectile damage from 55 to 60. Increase metallic fusion spell field damage from 30 to 35. Okay, good buff for Magneto. Storm is getting a buff from the Thor team up. Reduce the cooldown of Charge Gale from 20 seconds to 15 seconds, and increase the damage of Charge Gale from 50 to 55 seconds. So Storm is going to feel really, really strong this season, I think. I also think Winter Soldier is going to be very strong. Venom is going to be very strong. And Rocket is going to be very strong. Wolverine, obviously, going to be super broken. Squirrel Girl might even see some play more with her ult now. I think these are some really good changes. Questionable with the Cloak and Dagger and the Wolverine buff. I don't really know how I feel about that. But other than that, I'm actually pretty happy with the patch notes. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are excited for Season 1. If you are, subscribe and have a great day. See ya.